Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fun-filled night here on Spirit Connections. How's everyone doing? I'm still waiting for them to reply.
I know.
It hasn't happened yet.
I'm sorry.
I don't know why.
It's all right.
I'd like it.
I am Stephanie Burke, Spirit Medium, and this is my co-host.
Tiffany Rice, Spirit Medium, a.k.a. Tiffany Rice, Spirit Medium.
You needed to know that. That's right.
I'm very excited about tonight.
Are you?
As I am every Tuesday when I'm here with you guys.
This seems like the mellow side of you, though.
I'm very mellow.
This is surprising.
You know, I kind of had a very crazy week. And so now I'm just mellowing out.
It's been a very crazy week, so.
I'm mellowing out for tonight. Who knows what tomorrow's going to bring?
You never know, but August has proven to be pretty busy so far.
Crazy busy. Crazy busy.
I keep talking about September, October, but booking out into September, October this early is definitely new.
Definitely blessed.
Right.
And I feel like there's so many events coming up.
Yes.
So I'm
Which
excited.
we'll tell you guys about soon, because
Yes.
hopefully we can reveal some of them. I'm not sure, but next week we can definitely talk about them. We'll have an interesting guest next week.
And we'll let you know at the end of the show.
Yes, we will.
But for this show, I'm excited because it's a first-time guest here on Spirit Connections. We have the lovely Miss Shannon Sylvia.
Yay!
Hi, Shannon. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We're doing excellent. Excellent.
Hi.
So thank you so much for joining us. I wish we could have had you in the studio, but I know it's such a hike for everybody. So
I'm so sorry. It's a weeknight, and you guys are almost 2 hours away. So I apologize, but
It's not your fault.
another time. Let's do like a weekend, and we'll have some wine.
Hey,
Sounds good.
that's fine. I know we both like wine. That's fine with us. A little
No
Riesling.
problem.
Too funny.
Or margaritas, because I just saw your margarita toast.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Well,
I love margaritas.
I used to be a bartender, and I make a pretty good
Oh, really?
margarita, so we can definitely work that in.
Okay.
But
All right.
we're excited that, technology allows us to have you at least over the phone to tell us a little bit about everything. So
No problem.
And I'm always looking up. If you do watch while we're interviewing you, for whatever reason, it's because the speaker is right over there, so I'm always looking up when I interview people on the phone.
Right.
Instead of looking at the camera. But maybe I should try
Okay.
this time. So we have a couple questions for you. I know Steph started off with the first one. Did you?
Sure.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm sorry.
Obviously, we know who you are. A lot of people do know. But for people at home that might not know, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. And I have to apologize in advance. I'm trying so hard to get into the chat room, and it keeps telling me I'm logged off and offline. So bear with me while I'm doing this.
No problem.
My name is Shannon Sylvia. I was on one episode of Paranormal State in regards to the haunted schoolhouse that I live in, and a year later I was recruited for season 1 of Ghost Hunters International. Investigating my brains out for years and years, and more attracted to the business owner part of life now at this point, and doing private investigations, some appearances here and there, but that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
That's
Uneventful.
awesome.
Now, do you think being involved in living in a haunted location, do you think that piqued your interest, or was your interest piqued? So it was definitely because of the environment. Your interest was piqued in the paranormal.
It's not the environment I live in now that's my interest. It was growing up in a haunted house from when I was born, across town. So I've now lived in 2 haunted houses, and probably more than I even know about, but the old schoolhouse that we live in now is from, the original structure was in the 1700s. It was our town's first fire station, 1800s until 1880s or 1890s. It was made into a school. So our building has a lot of history. And as far as the house I grew up in that was haunted, it's located right in the center of one of the bloodiest parts of the King Philip's War between Leominster and Sterling, Massachusetts. There's just a lot of crap going on there that, that's all in the past. But I grew up from a very, very young age knowing that I lived in sort of strange circumstances.
So that's crazy to actually be involved and live in 2 haunted locations. I know people go years wishing that they lived in a haunted location. Now, common question, have you ever investigated your own house, or would you even think about it?
Oh yeah, no. I was much too young to investigate the house that I grew up in because I left there when I was 21, and I never took any steps to do any recordings there. The knowledge as far as what to do just wasn't there, but I did investigate my own condo. I've gotten some great EVPs while I was by myself, and those EVPs ended up being shown to both the TAPS and the Paranormal State teams. And then, of course, both TAPS and Paranormal State team members ended up going on and getting their own EVPs very easily from my place. So EVP work was the only thing I ever did personally on my own before it being officially investigated by numerous teams.
Wow. So now, as far as being part of Ghost Hunters International and doing all the traveling, in your own personal opinion, would you rather stay local and do investigating, or would you rather go the next step and go international investigating? Or did you find any difference in between the locations?
There's pros and cons to both things. I mean, when you're overseas, you already had probably 20 people looking into that location and mapping out everything that you needed to do as far as history and haunted areas of the place. A lot of your homework is already done for you. As far as private investigations, there's a very, very high number of false investigations, as we all know as ghost hunters. You've got homeowners that are watching too many TV shows that think every light glare and squeaky stair step is a ghost. So there are pros and cons to private investigations, but there are also some cons to doing stuff for TV too. I had the advantage of going overseas to some of the most amazing locations ever known to man in Europe, and just getting there, all expenses paid, and going in there and doing what I do best. But the private investigations, I have to say, I've sort of tapered off, and I'm not really doing as many anymore, just due to the fact that there are so many other factors going on, like medications and alcoholism, and things that the client's not revealing to us once we get there. And I'm a very busy girl these days, so it's a little tough for me to make all of those cases.
Right, and I know, you know, from a personal experience, both Steph and I have experienced that too, because, and we talk about it too, because of the fad. It was almost once, you know, ghost hunters, there was another haunted locations or haunted places. Wasn't there another one before Ghost Hunters?
I know there's many shows that tried to do the same concept for a while, but a lot of them were like on ABC Family and, you know, stuff like that.
And they'd only run for a very short time.
Yep,
and
then only usually Halloween time.
Exactly, exactly. But now, I mean, you're right, it became this huge thing, and now there's conventions and festivals, and everybody is part of a group somewhere. And so it is hard, because there are those people out there that I've stepped in a location where they've said, "Oh, are you bringing a film crew here?" And I said, "No, I don't even have a flashlight." You know, right. So that kind of comes with the territory.
Right. What? Do you think it took a toll on you being on television, being in the spotlight?
Of course it did. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was out there to work and not around, and people know that. People that worked with me knew. I mean, there was no drinking and partying and cheating on my husband. It took a toll on me, but I'm also used to going 150% no matter what, even back at home. So unfortunately, when I was out there, I was super stressed out because I was about to open a 2,000 square foot day spa while I was on the road.
Wow.
So I had to have a lot of conference calls in the middle of my investigations with contractors back in the U.S. And banks. So I was multitasking like the average person would not have been over there.
Plus the time difference too.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're in Germany, that's 6 hours. Australia, that's what, 12 hours ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got it. Time difference, lack of sleep, homesickness, inability to find food, water, basic needs, it was a lot of work over there. I'm not gonna lie to you. But after 7 episodes, I just had to call it quit. I got very little notice that they wanted me to go to New Zealand. About 6 days notice, and they wanted me on the road for 6 weeks, and I would have missed the grand opening of my day spa. And that kind of schedule was unplanned. We were supposed to have a much longer break, and I basically told them I can't do it. It was a tough decision, but you have to do what you have to do. I mean, I put $500,000 into this day spa, and you can't just not be there for your grand opening.
So wait, do you have the day spa now?
I used to.
Okay.
We ended up closing the business because the landlord of the day spa location, the whole strip mall, went into foreclosure.
Oh, wow.
A lot of businesses lost their businesses, and we took them to court and ended up settling a complete a circus of circumstances that were unfortunate, and good thing I was home for that.
Oh.
But, yeah, we went through hell with that whole aspect of the business. We were open for 2008. There was a lot of Ghost Hunters fans that actually came out and visited us while we were open, but unfortunately we couldn't keep doing it.
Now, I'm going to bring it back to the paranormal a little bit. And I wanted to ask you, since you had the opportunity to go to all of these fabulous locations that hopefully at some point Steph and I will make it across the lake, but or pond, as they call it, the pond. Someday we will. Have you ever had any like close calls there, or and what I mean by that is, have you ever you felt in like maybe a terrifying situation, or anything of that nature?
Yes, absolutely. I have been a little vocal about this a little bit on other radio shows. There was one time in Wales where we investigated Nanteo's mansion, and it was sort of an uneventful investigation for me. I didn't really feel the place was haunted. I didn't feel like there was a lot going on that night. And I went back to my room in Wales at 7 in the morning and saw some pretty creepy apparitions. This was happening over and over again. I did the eye rub thing.
Okay.
And I'm like,
squeak,
am I tired? Of course I'm tired. I'm overexhausted. But four things happened in succession that basically made me ran out in my pajamas, knocking on Donna LaCroix's door, screaming and crying. Something had followed me back, and if it followed me, it was already there, but it was truly something I've never experienced in my entire life. And, just when you last expect it, all of a sudden I had issues in my hotel room. So it wasn't on location, it was in my room, and it was unmistakably not something that I could blame on health reasons.
Wow.
So, I've seen stuff as far as really, really, really scary things. I have not been pushed down a stairwell or hurt. I was touched overseas, but the stuff that I saw with my own 2 eyes was far more frightening than being touched. It was just crazy.
Now, do you think the ghosts are a little bit more intense overseas than they are here in the United States?
No, that's a misconception. They may be older, there may be more activity out there because of more of coincidence that there are older locations or locations with more energy. But the stuff that I experienced growing up was no different than the stuff that we experienced out there in Europe.
That's really cool to know.
Yeah, I think you're just going to be in the right place at the right time, and there's paranormal activity just like here back in the United States.
Well, we always say that too, like there's the misconception of everybody thinking that paranormal things happen only at night or between 3 and 4 in the morning. And, we always tell people, exactly, it can happen right now,
Yes,
in this
yes.
building,
I actually, in my old schoolhouse, we experienced more paranormal activity during the day than we ever did at night.
Right. I grew up in a house that was built in the 1700s and was part of the Underground Railroad, and I used to joke, like, it was like Grand Central Station. I don't know what it's like not to see apparitions. And
right?
It's that kind of is what got me, really interested in everything. And I tell people all the time, like, they're there whether you realize it or not. You're just kind of oblivious to it. What you think is something, mechanical or, oh, that's just an everyday occurrence, isn't actually an everyday occurrence. What you're missing is somebody standing there.
It's true.
Ghost of Walmart. I'm going to write the next book, Ghosts of Walmart, you know.
There you go.
No, Shannon, those are actually real people. I'm kidding.
That's so weird. All those ghosts wear their pajamas.
No, they're everywhere. I do associate it with that great movie that Nathan Lane was in. I think it's Ghosts Among Us or something like that.
Oh yeah, I haven't had a chance to see that, but I do
movie.
know what you're talking about.
He basically can see spirits, and they're everywhere in New York City. It's kind of like spoof on ghosts, except for just way more interesting. And it kind of delves into how, no matter where this poor guy goes, coffee shop or the convenience store, he's surrounded by people that are trying desperately to communicate with him.
Sounds like my life.
And day and night.
So, another part of paranormal, we're not going to talk about the shows, except your show, Pararock TV. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Started the network back in 2008. I have my own network. It was kind of a combination of paranormal and rock and roll because we do a lot of music shows, but we were always featuring paranormal guests. But now we kind of brag that it's more like Paramount with rock and roll. We've expanded to so many more hosts, so many more topics. Tuesday nights, we've been taking a hiatus because of an injury, but my husband and I host a show called Up for Discussion for an hour. And then I have Shannon on Thursday nights where I air some of the funniest clips I've ever seen on the internet. And believe it or not, back in 2008, there was no Tosh.0. There was no The Soup.
Oh, I love The Soup. I love Tosh.0.
You know what? I watched them both too, but I totally think they ripped us off.
You never know.
Yeah, we have great hosts anywhere from Dr. Ginger, who's a psychologist, to radio shows. And it's a hobby, as you know. We don't make money off of it. We do sponsors for barters only. It's just more of a fun thing for us to do. And we have a studio that's built in our home, so I'm quite proud of that. And in the fall, we're going to come back in the fall once we square away the situation with just health, and we'll be ripping and roaring in no time.
So that sounds good. I mean, and that's what we do here with Spirit Connections. Like we have guests on from paranormal to fellow mediums and people that do tarot and people that are authors. We've
had cooking shows, we've had baking shows, we've had body wrap shows.
Yes.
We've done pretty much everything.
Mind, body, spirit. That's the way. Because it started out first like, okay, we're going to do more on the medium work. And
some of it was just that we were hungry.
Exactly. And then it started to grow a little bit more. So now we kind of encompass the mind, body, spirit whole philosophy.
You have to.
You do.
You have to, because there's so many different aspects of it, including, even different celebrities or different topics. You can't just do paranormal. People are going to be bored to death.
Right, and it's going to be the same thing. When was your first paranormal experience? Where do you like to go? But one common question that we didn't ask yet was,
what is your favorite paranormal place, if you had to pick one?
Well, my bucket list was Bobby Mackey's, and I've been there over 14 times.
Wow.
If I had to pick another place I really want to go to, that's a good question. I want to go to Savannah, Georgia, but that's not really a location. That's kind of a map point. But you know what? I think what comes to mind is maybe the French catacombs.
Oh.
That's very interesting.
I mean, there's probably in an hour from now I'll be like, why the hell didn't I say this or that?
That's okay.
Yeah, because there's so many.
There are so many, to be honest with you. I haven't been to St. Augustine's. I haven't been to a lot of places, but if I had the opportunity, of course, I'd be like white-knuckling through. I would love to investigate the French catacombs.
Well, if you go, bring us with you.
Yes.
No, I will just make that work.
I'm a huge history buff. I absolutely love, people joke with me all the time, I'm a huge nerd, and I love history. And I remember being probably in middle school and seeing a picture of it in my history book. Like, I have to go there. So I'd go just to see it, never mind to investigate it.
Right. Maybe, that's not an impossibility. Maybe we can make that work.
Sounds good.
My first experience with the catacombs was going to the Old North Church in Boston. Yeah, going down underneath and seeing the catacombs there.
Yeah.
So. That's here.
What's that?
Is that in Massachusetts?
Yep, the Old North Church.
It's in Boston.
In Boston. The
All right,
Italian
we'll talk
side,
later.
I believe. Little Italy.
I don't know.
Isn't that what they call it? Little. I could be wrong.
I don't know about this. We'll talk later.
But
so we know you have limited time, and we're getting ready to end our show. But we want to know, what are you doing now? Like, what projects are you working on? How are things going with your businesses?
Everything's good. Thank you for asking. I am still doing my website design. My design just celebrated its 13th anniversary, and I do a lot of logos. Thank you. It's nice to be self-employed 13 years. I'm very, very, very lucky. And I just, on the 1st, celebrated my 2nd anniversary of Pancakes. And, of course, all I do is spit out cakes and cupcakes all day.
Delicious.
Yes.
Thank you. And it does tie into my college art degree, of course. Mm-hmm. And my book, of course, came out in January, Paranormal Unwrapped, a co-written book with the lovely lady, Katie Boyd, who is an excellent demonologist and an incredible author. And that's available in every major bookstore, Amazon. It's also available overseas in Europe. And a second one is probably going to be in the works. We're talking about it. And what else am I doing?
You seem pretty busy.
I think I got to go back to the movie set tomorrow for the judge. I've been working on a movie. I've got to be fitted for wardrobe, so it looks like I'm going to have to close the cake shop again. But I'm
that's with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Yeah.
I saw the post.
Yes, and I just got notified that they need me back tomorrow, so I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work. But I'm having fun with the movie extra stuff. You know, they've been filming so much more and more here in Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
And I'm constantly getting calls like, hey, you know what? I may make more on a movie set than I do anywhere else. So I kind of...
And you're having fun. It's no work, you know?
You can't even meet friends. I have fun. I get to meet great stars. Who cares? I'm going to have fun with it. So
good.
I'm a busy gal. And I will be at the Connecticut Comic-Con on August 25th.
Oh, that's good. That's a couple weeks away.
It is. I've got to start thinking about that. And that will be my last appearance for the year, and maybe my last appearance forever. TBA on that issue, so we'll see.
Yeah, you never know. You might get that urge once October hits and everybody's...
Well, yeah, I don't want to be like the ball player there that keeps retiring. If I retire, it's going to be for good. So I'm not going to yet, but I've got a great career ahead of me doing what I love doing best, is being creative, and the TV stuff really is just a flash in the pan for me, to be honest. And I'm having to do what I'm doing now.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty headstrong and motivated.
You know what they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So
that's just it.
Yep, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're living. So
that's what we're doing right now.
Well, you guys are young. Go with it.
Yep. We're looking forward to just doing what we love. So we hope that you definitely continue on your journey as well, because that's so important. That's what we try to tell people, is if you do what you love every day, then you'll never ever worry about anything. So
well, that's just it. We could all die tomorrow with a giant asteroid to the Earth.
You never know.
Yeah.
I got to live like every day is my last day, and just get through it. And you guys have a good philosophy there too.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate your time. We know you didn't have a lot of it, so
it's all good. I apologize for that. I got to get back to some matters, but thank you for having me on, guys.
You're welcome.
I love
have
you
a good
dearly.
night.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so
yeah, that was
good.
Fun. Yeah, yes. And I was so excited because we could hear her, because I know a lot of times when we have phone guests, we're working on like letting them hear us, and everything is perfect. Works. I love it, including the table.
So we only have a couple minutes left.
Okay. Well, one thing that we were talking about, paranormal and the investigations.
Yes.
Well, next week we have Tim Weisberg on.
Yes, we do. So definitely tune in for that, because we're going to be talking legend trips. So you've heard us talk about legend trips all year long, but you definitely want to tune into this episode, because we're going to be talking about, we have, I think,
August,
2, 3, maybe 3 or 4 events coming up that we might be able to talk about definitely next week. But as of right now, we can definitely tell you that we will be at the USS Salem in Quincy, Massachusetts on August 31st. So go right on to www.legendtrips.com for more information to buy your tickets. In addition to buying your tickets, you can actually buy a reading with either Tiffany or I.
Both of us.
Or both, yeah, we can do that too. So definitely check that out, and I'm going to have to check for permission to announce the rest of them, but if not, we'll definitely announce them next week. So it's going to be a great time. There's always great lectures, great food, a great investigation, and you can sleep on the ship, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you want to spend the night, you can spend the night, which is really exciting because I think that's the first time that we've had an opportunity like this.
I don't know where Steph and I are going to sleep.
I'm going home. I don't like to sleep with ghosts. So
and I do. Oh, go
I don't
ahead.
have a nightlight there.
I was just going to say, I do want to let you guys know that I am having an open house at my office.
That is right.
August 14th. It's from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 55 Corporate Park Drive in Pembroke. You can come and go as you please. Would love to see you. Let me know if you watch the show. Again, it is August 14th, and I'll remind you next week too. But it's August 14th from 4 to 8 p.m. at 55 Corporate Park Drive in Pembroke.
And that's for Young Living Essential Oils, and It Works products and body wraps. So definitely check that out because that's really exciting, especially since Tiffany works for me. But we are running out of time, so thank you so much for joining us tonight, whether you're at home, you're on YouTube tomorrow, or you're in the chat room tonight.
Thank you so much again. And please, if you have any questions or suggestions who you want to see on the show, definitely contact us. You can contact me at spiritmediumtiff@gmail.com.
Or sburke910@yahoo.com, and also facebook.com/sburke910 @sburke910. I make it easy for everybody on Twitter.
Spirit Medium Tiffany on Facebook, @SpiritTiff on Twitter.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.